Hi, I think previously I talked a little bit on the YouTube with a very, very good buddy of mine who was a colonel in the Air Force. But to get back a little bit before that, I was in two services in World War II. I was in the Australian Imperial Force, and then also I was in the United States Coast Guard Merchant Service in the Philippines, attached to the Americans. Well, we've talked a lot about that before, so I'll start by saying that the last big show that I was on, well, I was only really in two big shows, three, Tarawa, the Philippines, and then Okinawa. Was we were coming up to go into our slot in Buckner Bay. At that time, it was just a number on a chart, but we came up there and in Buckner Bay, and we got alongside the dock, excuse me, to start and unload, and there was a big typhoon, and it was worldwide talked about afterwards. Everybody said that the typhoon was up by China. Somebody else turned around and said that it was by Korea, and somebody turned around and said, no, it's way further south than that. And all of a sudden, who knows, here's this bloody big full-blown typhoon, wind at 100 miles an hour, whipping us up. So I got orders to put out to sea, which I did, and then I rode it out for 3 days. We lost a lot of ships. We lost 2 destroyers, and we lost 4 Sullivan brothers. I think you remember reading about that, the Sullivan brothers, and that was when they made a law in the U.S. that no 2 brothers could serve on the same vessel. They have to be in separate units. Well, after that, I turned around and I went back to Saipan, and from Saipan, I was given orders to proceed towards the Japanese mainland, and about 3 days after the Japanese surrendered, I sailed into Manila Bay, and we went and tied up at the big graving dock in Yokosuka, yes, in Yokosuka Naval Dock. And I discharged my cargo there that I had to get rid of, and then I got orders to come back to the United States, and I did, and that was the end of the war. So I was laying pretty easy. But let me tell you something. World War II was a terrible, terrible war. I don't care how you describe any other battle or any other war, but World War II was a war to save the world, and we did. We saved it by sheer guts and determination. We went over there, we volunteered, we fought, and we died. And some of us come back in pretty bad shape, but we made it back. Then when Korea came along, of course, we were back out there again, and I went to Sasebo to pick up a cargo of ordnance supplies, general supplies and so forth, and to take them into Korea. And we turned around, and we were 1950-51 Christmas was, and it was very cold, and the Koreans and the Chinese had pushed down through the north of Korea at that time, down, and we were fighting what was called the 39th parallel, and we weren't going to give up any more, and we didn't give up any more. But there was guys without uniforms, there was guys without guns, there was guys without food, without blankets. So I just told my steward, no. You know what? No. You can do? So I was tied up, stern towards towards the shore, and 2 steady anchors, port and starboard bow, to keep the ship in line, and slowly turning over on the propeller. Well, I went to the steward, and I said to the steward, I said, Chief, I said, I want you to open up stores, give all the stores that you can to these fellows, give them any blankets, any clothing, any food or anything, and use it all if you have to. And they turned around and he said, would you log that, Captain? I said, I sure will. And I did. And so he turned around and he distributed everything that we had on board. And I got orders to go from Incheon. I got orders to go from Incheon to the Persian Gulf to pick up a supply of oils, different oils that they were using for different capacity in the war. And so anyway, I turned around and I sent a flag back to Yokosuka Naval Base and said, where do I restore? And the Navy said, well, what do you mean, where do you restore? And I said, well, I need supplies. And they said, you just had a year's supplies when you left the United States. What's going on? And I told him what I did. And the steward, he confirmed it. They looked in the logbook. And they turned around and they gave me a reprimand. And I knew that with that reprimand, that red line in my book, I could never go any further in the service. So when it was over, I just out and left completely. And that's the story of my life. Now, that's about all I can tell you for now because I've lost most of my memory of these things. But I just want to say hi to all my buddies and fellows from World War II that were in the service and lived. We were survivors, and it was a wonderful thing. So God bless all services, Navy, Army, Air Force, the works, the Merchant Marine veterans. And I just want you to know that we're still out here and we're still remembering. And I just want to say to any of you, we're dying pretty fast, but any of you that are still alive, just say hi and God bless you all. And I say that back to you.